Whenever an action is performed, Spark will make use of memory and CPU as long as the application in the sense the operations are running. Once operations are done, then nothing will be there in memory or disk, and RAM and CPU will be, what will happen to them, will be free, right? Will become free. And you may ask one question here, what is the amount of RAM that will be allocated? What is the amount of CPU that will be allocated? Is it by default, do we have any values of those resources? Yeah, by default, RAM will be allocated as 1 GB. And cores, there's nothing but CPU cores. How many CPU cores will be allocated by default? Now in my machine, I have 4 cores. So how many cores do you think that are allotted to this application? When we say local, or local of 1. One core will be allocated exclusively for the Spark application only. 1 GB of memory and 1 core will be added, right? Okay, allocated or added. And if I say local of some 3, then 3 cores will be allocated. Okay, simply I can say that local of n. That is in local machine only, guys. When we are running Spark in local node only in one machine, this is what n cores. We can say simply n cores. Got it? N cores will be allocated to the Spark, but the only default values. We'll come discuss this about all this in the cluster sessions. But this is very simple idea of what is that we are doing. Now, can you tell me for this Spark application, how many cores are allocated? How much memory is allocated? Can you identify this?
1 core, 1 GB.
1 core and 1 GB memory. Is there any possibility of seeing those values? Yes, go to the Spark application. Okay, and go to the executors here. Here we have something called as executors. Click on this executors. I will explain what an executor is later, but you'll have some values here. That's what I'm trying to show you. You can see this number of cores here. The number of cores, only 1 core, and actually it will be 1 GB, but it will utilize 384 MB only out of it. Out of 1 GB, it will utilize only 384 MB only. How that is, why it's doing that, like that we'll understand the cluster session. But for remember that by default 1 GB of memory, and how many cores, that depends upon our value here. Whatever the value we pass here, that will depend on that. Suppose if I say local of 3, if I say this guys here, just observe here what is going to happen. Let me just restart the kernel, because that will be already running. So if I say local of 3, and if I say demo app, it will be created with that name. Application will be created with that name. Yeah, now it is done. Now let's run this now. Yeah, now if you go here and refresh this page, now you can see the number of cores to be 3. Now running this value 3 cores. The memory is same, 1 GB only, but we did not touch the memory here. I will tell you how to change the memory. Directly we can't change the memory from here. I will tell you how to change it, how to configure it. But directly we can say the code simply with this value, local of 3, local of 2, local of 4, or if it is local of star, then we have local of star. It means that all the cores available, whatever all the cores available in your machine, they will be allotted to the application. Okay, clear guys? For instance, we ask the Spark application to preserve the data. So cache is what Spark does is it will try to do on its own. We ask the Spark to do this amount of data, save with you, preserve it for future use. That's what we ask Spark for. Okay, cache is it will do, even though we don't ask it, it will try to persist it. It will try to cache it. People
Okay.
use words interchangeably, actually cache and persist, but they are not same. People use these two words interchangeably in the interviews or somewhere, but these two are
Hmm.
not same. Okay, cache is
Okay.
by the default nature of Spark. Persist is not the default nature of Spark. We have to tell it. We have to ask the
Okay.
Spark to do it. Okay, so
Yeah.
with persist we can store large amounts of data, but with cache we can't do that. Spark by default can't preserve large amounts of data. Very few, very little in KBs only. Okay, remember that. I'll show
Okay.
that. Don't worry. In the web UI, here we have a tab called as storage. All the data that got persisted, that will be in the storage only. That will be shown here. We did not persist everything. The data is getting cache here. If you see the jobs here, I think we have created again this, right? So when we say cache, the data will not be available in storage. When we persist it, all the whatever we have persisted, that will be available in the storage tab, under the storage tab. We'll see it. We'll see what are the modes, what are replications, what are without. The modes are there, different concepts are there. We try to discuss each and everything about that persistence. Fine. Guys, one more point here. Spark programming is not just a programming. I'm telling you, is not just programming. If you get the output, it is fine. No, that is not going to work in case of Spark. Why? Because the application will run on a cluster, not just a single node. They will run on a cluster. So we have to keep in mind how much amount of resources this application is going to use. What is the cost of those operations? Cost, I'm telling you, cost, COST cost. Cost of the operations matters a lot in Spark programming. Okay, so now to understand that, we need to understand what is persistence, what is memory, what is the memory utilization, CPU utilization, everything we have to understand. That is very important. Not just writing the code is not sufficient. The job fails if the amount of resources are not available. Even though we write the code perfectly, the job will fail. The job will fail. I will show you those instances also. Okay, I will show you the situations where the job fails, even though everything programmatically is correct. There's no 100% the program is correct. Still, there is a chance of job failure. Why? Because non-availability or non-proper configuration of the resources. Why? Because the Spark runs on a cluster, huge amounts of data, not small amounts, huge amounts of data. Okay.